cities play a huge role in world history. They are all alike but have slight differences in their own past.
Of the post-classical era shared two qualities. Both cities had many leaders and were constantly being invaded. Throughout their long histories, a variety of different intruders have stumbled their way into their lands. An example of these intrusions was laid out when the Arabs of the Abbasid Empire and the Persian Samanid Empire took total control over the city and people of Samarkand. In the year of 751, the Battle of Talis took place. During this brutal battle against the Chinese, the Abbasid Empire, which was currently ruling Samarkand, captured 2 Chinese prisoners of war. While being held captive, they taught the people of Samarkand how to make paper. In Cairo, the courageous Christian crusaders attacked the city in the 12th century. The leader of the Muslim army, Saladin, was then able to defeat the crusaders with force. Later on, Saladin and his army founded the Ayyubid dynasty in the land of Cairo. A century later, in the 1300s, the Mamluks took Cairo as their capital. These outrageous events in Samarkand and Cairo were similar in that 2 different societies invaded and ruled in both cities. Although these events do appear to be alike, there is a difference. The contrast is seen in the way that the new invaders came into each city. When the foreigners claimed the land of Cairo, they appeared to be more on the barbaric side, as they destroyed and stole anything they pleased. The infiltration of new leaders in Samarkand was the opposite of Cairo's invaders, because they calmly claimed the throne instead of demanding with force. Also, during the post-classical time period, globalization was starting to occur. This means more ideas and cultures were spreading due to increasing world connections and communications. This affected Samarkand and Cairo because of their location on rivers. Their position makes them port cities, and a port city is a city placed near a river allowing for prosperous trade. Now these cities' roles were to facilitate trade. Speaking of trade, Samarkand and Cairo had another thing in common: the Silk Road. The Silk Road was the major trading pathway during the post-classical world. As you can see, Samarkand and Cairo are pit stops in this magnificently vast trading empire. Here's Cairo, and here is Samarkand. And as active participants in the Silk Road, their major role played in trade increased.
And today I'm going to be comparing and contrasting the Guangzhou and Timbuktu regions and how their nature affects their settlement. Guangzhou and Timbuktu both heavily rely on rivers for their civilization. For Guangzhou, their settlement patterns are heavily concentrated around the Pearl River Delta. As for Timbuktu, their settlements are heavily centered around the Niger River. Guangzhou's population, unlike Timbuktu's, is affected by the Baiyum Mountains, which caused a demographic shift for the people of Guangzhou. In other words, the population of Guangzhou was possibly smaller than its potential because of the mountain range that surrounded the city. Timbuktu, unlike Guangzhou, had no large physical features, blocking population influx into the city, even though Timbuktu had sandy deserts, sandy deserts would not stop traders and other merchants from getting to Timbuktu. It wasn't until later innovation that the monstrous floodplains of both cities were contained, handled, and made livable for the people of those cities. The way civilians of both cities created homes had a mirror reflection of the environment they lived in. As for Timbuktu, they had sandy and mud-made houses for their arid, humid, and dry climate. As for Guangzhou, they had higher elevated houses made out of wood and other materials for their more rainy and wet area.
Of Guangzhou, Samarkand, Timbuktu, Cairo, and Venice have similarities and differences in their economies, interactions, and the nature surrounding them.